Good morning and Happy New Year. The new year is a time for reflection and recommitment. In the coming year, what are we going to commit to doing in order to live our best lives? Elections are also an opportunity for reflection and recommitment. In casting their votes, DC residents express what they expect their elected leaders to do to help them live their best lives. I'm humbled by the trust district residents have placed in me to represent them, to advocate for them, and to use the law to help them make their lives better and safer. I'm a third-generation Washingtonian. My mother, Estelle, grew up here, as did her father, my grandfather, Sam. My wife, Mickey Simon, and I have been blessed to live, work, and raise three amazing daughters here. In my unbiased view, there is no better place in the world to live than the nation's capital. We enjoy an abundance of resources: environmental beauty, cultural treasure, financial stability. We grow, attract, and retain extraordinary human talent. We are awash in resources that fuel growth, innovation, and prosperity. But we face persistent inequities. Far too often, our abundant resources and the opportunities that those resources create are not shared equally. And as a result, some, but not all, Washingtonians are sharing in our prosperity. How do we close widening gaps in income, in home ownership, in business ownership, and access to health care? How do we make sure that hardworking people that built our city and that make it run every day can afford to live here? We also face violence and trauma. Everyone deserves to feel safe in their neighborhood, walking their dog, shopping for groceries, going to school. How do we protect our neighbors from gun violence and traffic violence? How do we ensure that parents see their children grow up healthy? And we face threats to our democratic values. How do we preserve fundamental rights, rights to reproductive freedom, to love who we choose, to be free from racism, bigotry, and hate? As I reflect on these questions and where we look for answers regarding equity, safety, and democracy, I think about advice my father gave me. Today, January 2nd, would have been my dad's 87th birthday. When he left the Justice Department in the mid-60s, many of the firms in this city would not hire him because he was Jewish. I can only imagine how he'd feel seeing his son standing on this stage taking the oath of office as Attorney General. Dad's advice was simple. God gives us two ears and one mouth for a reason. We have to listen twice as much as we talk. As your independently elected Attorney General, I will listen to everyone. And I will collaborate with anyone who has our city's best interests at heart. But I will be beholden to no one. Strengthening the independence of the Attorney General is one way we fight for equity. It's how we ensure our seniors, our workers, our tenants, our consumers, and our environment are protected from powerful forces that would seek to profit by taking unfair advantage. An independent Attorney General is also essential as we strive toward fuller representative democracy, expanded home rule, and statehood. On this note, a message to Capitol Hill. Regardless of party, I pledge to be a partner with you in good faith. We don't have to agree on everything before we work together on anything. But make no mistake, Washingtonians have put their trust in me to stand up for our rights, our autonomy, and our values, and I will not let them down. District residents have repeatedly told me that in addition to being an independent advocate for equity, democracy, they expect the Office of Attorney General to focus on accountability, especially our collective obligation to improve public safety. In DC, the Office of Attorney General is responsible for prosecuting juvenile crime. Under my leadership, we will prosecute crimes fairly and with integrity, and when we have the evidence to do so. But prosecution happens after the fact. To make our communities safer, we must stop crime before it happens. Now, we know that access to stable housing, Healthy food, mental health, counseling, and structured and safe places during and out of school are all critical in making sure young people grow up healthy and hopeful about their futures. And hopeful kids are safer to themselves and to everyone around them. Locking up young people does not make us safer. We need to elevate, we need to celebrate, and we need to cultivate young people. Kids are biologically hardwired to take risks and make mistakes. But too many young people in Washington, D.C. don't have the privilege of learning from their mistakes without risking their liberty or their lives. We do have to hold people accountable, and we will. But accountability is a two-way street. As government officials and community leaders, we also need to hold ourselves accountable. We are all accountable to hold and invest wisely in the future of our kids. After all, their future is our future. As elected Attorney General, I am a temporary steward of this office. I will strive every day to leave it in better shape than I find it, and I find it in pretty darn good shape. We should be proud of the Office of Attorney General. It is independent, it is effective, it is a law office full of the talent and smarts and diversity and grit that a city like Washington, D.C., full of talent, smart, diverse, and gritty people deserves. It has a legacy of excellence that I pledge to carry forward, because I believe the law in the hands of smart, hardworking, committed professionals is the single greatest tool we have to make the district the place, indeed the state, we deserve it to be. So with this new year, let us commit to collaborating, to holding ourselves accountable, and to listening. Because if we do, we'll realize the promise of this great city. We'll build a community where prosperity is shared, where democratic rights are secured, and where everyone in every neighborhood is safe. Thank you.